Right, guys, so I used to be an involuntary omega male. Right now, I'd like to think I'm progressing. Now, I say involuntary because I didn't plan to be an omega male. I didn't settle for being an omega male. There was just some unfortunate life circumstances that sort of made me an omega male. And, so what happened was I ended up I think it kind of stems from school. The school system, I think, made me stupid. Because I was overworked. I think if they just managed to give me the right type of workload volume, I think I would have done quite well. But that wasn't the case. When I think when I was in third year doing the junior cert, my I got a letter home from the principal saying, "Oh, for the junior cert, you must study 5 to 6 hours per day on days where you're not in school, and then something like I don't know 2.5 or 3 hours on school days." And I was like, nah, that can't be right. That's too much work. But no, my parents were like, no, no, that's what it takes. If you want to be a success, if you want to do well in the junior cert, that's what you have to do. So I was like, okay. And I believed them, and I fell for the trap. I don't know why they make us do that much study. Do they want us to burn out and do badly, or are they just stupid? Do they not know how the brain actually works? That most people can't study that many hours a day. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's some people who could do that and get away with it, but I couldn't. Alright, so I did that. So for 5 hours a day for a couple of months leading up to the junior cert on days where I was off school, then maybe 2.5, 3 hours when on days where I was in school, and that led to problems. Um, I skipped fourth year. I did fifth year. I did 5 hours study a day on days off school as well, and so I did that, and yeah, at the end of the year, at the end of fifth year, I just gave up. I was like, feck it, this is too hard. And it wasn't that it was too hard. I was just going about it in the wrong way. Okay, and I believe doing well, certainly for me, doing that amount of study every day it actually causes brain damage and lowers your IQ. You have to find the right volume. You need to be able to recover from the amount of studying that you're doing. Okay, and for years, I was messed up. I am. At 17, I got a job washing cars in Apple Green. I got fired on my second day. I just couldn't, it's not because I didn't show up. I showed up for both those two shifts, but I just couldn't do the job properly. I did an IQ test that September, I believe. I got 70, which means 98% of the population has a higher IQ than me, and I'm borderline retarded. uh, you know, and yeah, that led to problems. I didn't want to go to college or university, but my parents sort of forced me to. I went and I just went through the motions, no ambition, just going there because I'm like, right, if I don't go, I'm gonna get kicked out, so I might as well just go in and DOS and not do much. That was my mentality, and yeah, and I felt like I couldn't do anything intellectual with my life. I was just too stupid. The school system made me think that I was stupid, but looking back, I was just taught in a stupid way. I was given the wrong advice. So yeah, it was definitely a bit of bad luck there. Um, and so yeah, after I was in college 3 years, went through the motions, I failed. Then eventually after I left college, I was unemployed for a year, and then eventually I settled down at a job at McDonald's. This was April 2019, 2 years ago now. And so yeah, I was working at McDonald's, and I struggled. When you have an IQ of 70, working at McDonald's is a difficult job. All right, I was able to get the hang of chicken match grill, but I wasn't able to get the hang of any of the other stations. The line just seemed impossible to me. Fries was difficult. Service was impossible. Beverages was impossible. It just seemed too hard for me. Like I just couldn't do it. And I got a bit fed up and bored eventually, so I quit in January 2021. And I was gonna leave Dublin. The plan was to move to a town outside Dublin, cheap rent, so I could live there and only have to work a small amount of hours to pay for like rent and food and stuff. Because really, I had no real ambition when it came to climbing up the corporate ladder. I just felt like, oh, I'm just stuck in this position. There's nothing I can do to get out of it. Um, but actually, not long before I left McDonald's, I think in November 2020, I was given a break from work, 2.5 weeks holiday, and so I just read. I just decided to read during that period because I had nothing better to do, give myself something to do, And I came back after a 2.5 week break, and I just found the work a little bit easier. My head wasn't wrecked after every shift like it used to be, and I'm like, geez, this is this is good. I want more of this. So I started reading for like an hour and a half every day. But I think that was too much. I progressed for a little while, then burnt out, and I dropped. So I cut down on the volume, and the same thing happened. I kept cutting down the volume until I got down to 30 minutes per day, just half an hour, and I think that was a sustainable volume for me. That's what I'm doing now, just 30 minutes a day, And I feel like I've improved my IQ massively. So I changed my mind. I decided not to move. I was going to move to a place called Athlone. I actually traveled to Athlone to have a look at the place. It seemed fine. I think it was what like I'll be sharing a house with three Chinese guys and one Irish girl. So but I decided not to do that because I was thinking, geez, it'd be impossible to get a job there. I mean, there'd be like no one. Uh, there'd be like yeah, because it's coronavirus lockdown, so everywhere would be closed. You wouldn't be able to get a job. So I was like, right. I decided to stay in Dublin. I decided to move to the north side instead, thinking, yeah, that'll be a good change of scenery, if you know what I mean. And I could do that and just yeah, so I could do that, get a change of scenery, and yeah, I moved to East Wall and got a job in Spar in D'Olier Street. So after 2 months of working in Spar, they fired me. I think it was because they're overstaffed. They wanted to get rid of people, and that's not what the manager told me. He told me, "Oh, you're not doing the job well enough. You didn't clean the kiosk well enough, or something like that." And I'm like, "Geez, no one cares about how clean the kiosk is unless it's a complete mess." So yeah, anyway, I got fired from Spar on D'Olier Street, and then I started applying for jobs. I got a job at McDonald's in Malahide Road. And yeah, I've been working there for 2 weeks now. And sometimes when I'm working on the grill, I sometimes flex on the line. Do you know what I mean? Like when there's something to do on the grill, you go onto the line, production line and help, dress the burgers and stuff. And I've been doing that. I don't know. I just find it a lot easier. Like yesterday, I was working online. I just felt a lot easier than it did before. A few months ago when I was at McDonald's, and yeah, I feel like maybe reading for 30 minutes a day has definitely helped increase my IQ. It makes working a lot easier, and now I'm feeling optimistic. Like maybe I could get a promotion, maybe I could work my way up, you know. So yeah, that was the reason I was an Omega male, because I just didn't see any hope. I just felt like I was stuck here for life in this position. But now, with a little bit of work on the side, I feel like there's hope for me. I can improve myself. Okay? And sometimes people say, oh, if you're working at McDonald's, it's because you have a lack of ambition. But no, well, not for me. I think for a lot of people, no, you have another weakness. Like for me, it was IQ. My IQ was a weakness. So I had to work on that. And since I've been working on that, I've made massive progress in the space of a few months. So, I'm really optimistic now about the future. So, um, yeah, I'm really happy, and that's the thing for a lot of these people. You have to evaluate. Don't just say, "Oh, it's because they have lack of ambition." If you don't know the person, look at the person and see where are they going wrong. Maybe they have low IQ. Maybe half an hour of reading a day would do them the world of good. Maybe they have anger problems. Maybe they need to control their anger. Maybe they have a criminal record. There's all these different factors that come into place. So you gotta think of it that way. So yeah, I was at a voluntary Omega. I didn't choose to be an Omega. It's just a few unfortunate life circumstances made me that way. And now that I've found a way to improve, um, yeah, I'm taking that opportunity. I'm improving myself. Because I know at school the reason I was so unsuccessful was because I was overdoing it. I was giving bad advice. Now I realize, right, I don't need to work hard. I only need to do half an hour a day. So, let's say this video ends up being 10 minutes long. So that's 10 minutes in this YouTube video. And then it'd be like 20 minutes of reading. I'm reading George Orwell's 1984 book. It's quite good actually. I've only read, well, I haven't read that much of it, but it's good so far. Um, so yeah, that's the thing. You know, um, you gotta try to improve yourself in your spare time. I think that's a really big deal that people need to do. And no one seemed to. Everybody just, it's a one size fits all, really. Like everybody thinks everyone else is the same. No, we're all at a different standard. Okay, so when I was at school, maybe they should have made me do an IQ test and say, right, Mark, you should not be going to university. You should be trying to just maybe read for half an hour a day, try to boost your IQ a bit, and maybe so maybe when you leave school, you can maybe work a job without getting fired. And be actually able to do the work. I think that would have been a much better idea. I think that's what they should do for everyone. Instead of saying, "Oh, everyone should go to university," they should say, "Right, okay, so IQ test. I think you need to get like an IQ of at least 115 to go to university. That's what Jordan Peterson kind of said. So yeah, if you get 115 or above, yeah, university is an option. If you're below that, let's say you're 100, then or forget about it for now. Maybe work on your IQ for a year. Get a job at 18 when you leave school. Just get a job at McDonald's or Burger King, and maybe work on your IQ for a year or two in your spare time. And if you can get up 115 or higher in your IQ test, then consider going to university. I think that would be a much better idea.